right, so it's time to feed my reds in the basement. So what I got here is about 50 pounds of compost. This went through my pinpoint composting, my 55-gallon drums. This is sawdust. There's this little bit of a compost smell here, but this is what I'll be feeding to my reds in the basement. So it's already been through a few months of the thermophilic stage, and now we're going to go down and feed the bins that I've been working with, that I've been working with great results. A little messy down here, but these are the barrels that I've been working with. I haven't retrofitted this one yet, but I'll be retrofitting into these like this. It's a typical Eve barrel, designed without the holes up top because they're indoors. This screen keeps everything in, keeps everything out. And usually I try to run them dry. But as you can see, a little liquid's coming out of there. I usually put a pan under there. But we're going to feed. This one I think is fed. That's a 55-gallon drum Eve barrel. I started with this one. This one will feed today. 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 And that one we have to retrofit. And I have another one. So I'm going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them down here, where I'm going to feed my finished compost and turn it into castings. So I just took the screen off of this, and now I'm going to set this tripod up and we'll feed this one. Show you how I feed that. All right. As you can see, you got a black soldier fly somehow is in here. Every now and then I get them coming out of here. Once a month, I feed these guys. Just like this. What I do is I dig like this. This one looks like it needed some food desperately. And usually I make my rolls ahead of time, but I want to show you here that this sheet newspaper. Again, they eat from the inside out. Just a whole handful of compost. Just like that. And this is all my house compost that I heated up. Buried it like this. There's one. Alright, they did a good job on this material from last. I was feeding it straight, my compost straight to these guys, and it took a little while for them to go into it. So I've been experimenting with my finished compost, or not my hot compost after the thermophilic stage, and it's softened it all up. I'll leave that there because one's it. They've softened it all up, and I think that's been doing really good. So it kind of looks like this. Gently cover it with that. That'll greatly reduce the smell. See, look, that's all castings down there after that stage of the game. When we get to the top, that's when we're going to put a screen, and the last feeding will be, they'll all go into it, and I will take most of the worms out, and then I'll use the light method to finally harvest my worm castings. Put that there. So this is feeding them massive amounts of food, right, at one time. But let's look at one of these rolls that I had last time. See, they've already eaten the inside out. So this has been working really good. So you don't have to worry about the thermophilic stage when you're feeding them this much. And I probably don't have to wrap it in newspaper as well. I could probably just put a whole clump in there. But I have all this extra newspaper, so. And it does kind of help me know that they've eaten it all. When the newspaper's gone, you know everything's gone, right? So let's put that like that. Stay like that. All right. So this is, it's not like fermenting per se, right? I know I'm packing it and I'm leaving it. It's a different method. It's a different style. I'm still doing my tubes with that. And then when you bury it, that'll, with the castings, that'll greatly reduce the smell of it all. This is all the older newspaper. Right, you guys? Let me try to bury that in there. I like to leave it so I don't see any newspaper or anything, right? There. So you bury the fresh ones deep so you know that there's no smell at all. All right, that's this month's feeding. It's October 3rd, I think, or something like that. God, the month's going fast. So once a month, I feed these guys like clockwork. And then, again, this is almost to the top. I think I got maybe 2 more feedings before I could start harvesting this, which is good. I'm going into the fall. I'm not in any great rush for these castings because here in New England, you know, I'm not growing them. And I like that they're on wheels. That's something I like very much. All right. I'm going to start posting more on my fermenting group, guys. Again, I see people posting thoughts, and I haven't posted in such a long time. I've been so damn busy on so many levels. But let's see how. It helps run it dry. Let's see what we got for liquid in here. See, one worm fell out of there, little baby. Can you guys see that? I think you can. So that's how you can, yeah, the liquid comes out there. And I'll put this like this. And then I'll put this like that. Now let's feed this guy right here. Got a little, let's take this like this. And they're very heavy once they're full. Like that one's heavy as hell. But let's move this one over here, like that one. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one has a black soldier fly on there as well. God love them. And this one I started, this is probably the second feeding, as you can tell by the aeration can here. So let's see, and I think I fed this one house compost rather than, no, composted compost rather than just direct straight compost. All right, so let me get this like this. Let's like this. Bring this over like this. And let's take a look at how this new, I like this size too, by the way. If you are thinking of doing these Eve barrels, this is a great size. These two, I've got some bigger ones. When we go to the end, you'll see the difference. But I like this size. And I got this little dinky size here. Can you see that there? This is a smaller one I'm going to retrofit. Let's see here what we got. These guys, too, are ready for some composting rolls, no doubt. I don't know what that plastic is. I wonder what kind of... I don't know what that is. Sometimes those Dunkin' Donuts cup, when they went paper, I got all excited thinking, oh, they finally get it. But, of course, within that paper is plastic. So, there, that roll right there. Yeah, these guys are really working good on these rolls. Just enough moisture to run it dry. Put that paper in there like that. Boom, boom, boom. Get another roll. All right. Again, that's a lot of food at one time, right? I'm going to try to bury this newspaper. It's already done. Okay, let's go over here. See, all the rolls are gone. This was ready to be fed. So I might have to do this twice a month, maybe, if they eat them that fast. We'll see. I'm just trying to learn this new system. Again, it's not a continuous flow. It's going to be, again, once I get to the top here, the last feeding is going to be, I'm going to have a system where the worms are going to come up in it. I'm going to be able to lift it up, put it aside, do the light method to go back down, then add the worms that I lifted up to the bottom and start all over again is the thought with this idea. I think it's a good way to do it. Another method of vermiculture. Another way of using these Eve barrels, right? They're grow towers, they're composters, they're worm farms, and I contend you can even do a boccacci with them, which I don't know if that's necessary. Now this is smelly, but once I cover it with the castings, there's not going to be a smell. And that's good. What is it? Oh, here's the can right here. Oh, I already buried one there? Mocky. Here, I didn't bury one, I don't think. Let's bury one there. Talk about overfeeding. And that's what it looks like at the bottom as it goes. So this is going to be pure castings right at the end. Yeah, Mark, you said that. That stuff. That's a lot of food, guys. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the thermal. I think it's the perfect consistency. Compost it first, and then feed it to your reds. And then you'll have castings. Or leave it as compost. But, you know, now I'm going to put one in the middle. Yeah. Just like that. All right. And I got one more out of this bucket. So again, I'm feeding these guys about 50 pounds of composted house compost. Like that. Little smell again, like I said, but this will greatly reduce it. First of all, the paper that I wrapped it in will reduce the smell. Covering it back up with castings will greatly reduce the smell. This will reduce the smell. Again, I'm doing it in my basement with good results. And so far with this method, I'm not seeing too many. I'm not seeing any fruit flies or any very little springtails and mites and stuff like that because, again, I'm running it on the dry side now. All right, so let's move these guys down. Boom, boom, boom. This. Like that. Like this. Next time I do a video of this, my place is going to be squared away. Let me move this one down. So I got 3 of this size. I think this is a 30-gallon. I think. All right, this one, I had a cloth of sock in there. I don't, because I had worms in it, and I didn't want to lose the worms, so I'm going to have to keep this aside since there's worms, and I'll put it back on there again. All right, I'm going to this barrel, which I don't know if you can see it, but this is sawdust and compost. Oh, right there, and it's very heavy. That's about 45 pounds right there. All right, now let me get some paper. Well, let me dig a hole first. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, nice. Nice and soft castings. These guys is ready to be fed too. I think once a month is perfect. Once a month is perfect to feed these guys. Massive amounts of food, folks. Massive amounts of food at one time. So it's look at that. It's similar to fermenting, right? Because you're packing it and leaving it. But I guess that could be said with any worm farm, right? These are very smelly rolls right now. So I definitely want to dig these a little deeper. Got my aeration can there. All right. We still filming? Yeah. 12 minutes. I'll try to... I should have made this a live video, as we should have did. Now I gotta edit it. All right. That's a big freaking roll right there. Loosely packed. Loosely packed. I might even add some more reds. I have some reds out back that I'm going to put more into each one of these bins and work them even harder. Because here in New England, when it gets cold, it slows them down, right? So you want to work them. I want my compost fast. Fast as you can. Another big roll. Sawdust and house compost, right? Yeah, I like these bins. I like these bins. They're on the wheels. They're already designed for heavy weight. These guys were dying for food, tell you what. Oh, that castings look good down here. Look at that. They're loving it. This is a good method, I'm thinking. It's a no-brainer, I think. So again, let's go through it one more time. You put your house compost in like I do with my pinpoint composting series. All of them are online on TikTok and YouTube. And also, I capped these. After I took these out of the compost, I capped them for about a week. So there was no aeration. So that would kill anything that was in there. And unfortunately, there's some black soldier larvae in here. I capped those, and those larvae died from lack of oxygen. So in a sense, I was doing bokashi, right? Because I composted it first, though. So it's like bokashi, whatever the heck. Okay, let's get another thing here. Like this. This is too colorful for my like, but whatever. This I packed it full. Can you see that over here? This bin here that I'm working with, I packed with a house compost to the very top, so there's literally no air in there. And they do have a stink to it, a little bit of a stink, but that's okay. Now I'm going to put one more roll deep down in here. And next feeding, I'll probably go live so I don't have to edit it, but the next feeding, we'll see how all these rolls did. Okay. All right. Newspaper here. Where are we here? All right. Last roll for this one here. So, anything and everything, folks. Imagine if the world's people knew how to turn food, so-called waste, into... All right, there's that. Again, I could throw this in without the newspaper. It'd probably be the same damn thing. But newspaper, again, just helps me know where the rolls are, I think. I don't know. I got enough of it, again, like I said. So I cover it up with the castings like that. The smell is literally gone. Any smell that was there is gone. Now, I'm going to put that sock back on. Like this, because there was worms in it. Right, I put that like that. This reduce the smell even more. All these guys on the very, you know, when it rains and stuff, you guys, people climbing, worms climbing out. I haven't had that happen with this system for some reason. Well, this vapor barrier, I think, keeps this too dry for the worms to move around. But for some reason, with the setup that I've been doing, I haven't had that problem at all with runners. Like I did with my T55. It just seems easier. And I don't know if this is better. We'll see. The end results, we'll see if all the worms go into that last stage and I take it out, if it's better than a continuous flow system. Those vermi bags and stuff like that. You know, it's just different methods that we can do it. All right, now I've got... big drum. Oh, what happened here? I'm glad my... Oh, I thought I was recording. All right, I'm feeding this big one now. Here's a roll. This one was the last of the house compost. Now I'm doing... See, it took a while for them to go in it. Again, now I only feeding them the compost stuff. Let me go get some. There we go. Let me change sides. All right. All right. Okay, that's 2 rolls. I think it's shut off. That's 2 rolls I've already put in here. Again, all go down deep. That's all castings right there, folks. Right? That's all castings. Okay. Eventually, I'll probably wean off the paper altogether and just throw it right in this hole I've dug. Like that. Yeah, this needed a feeding. See, I'm not even going to use newspaper. I'll just go like this. With this one, right? Look at all that food. Bury it right in there. Boom, boom. Because it's already been through the thermophilic stage, as I said many times. So hopefully it won't heat up again. There. And this is when I say the biodiversity will come back. When I say the biodiversity will come back, this is what I mean. With your hot temperatures, you get them as hot as in your composting setup, it's composting cycle. Get it as hot as you can for as long as you can. Many people say, well, Mark, don't do that because they'll die out. You'll kill all the good microbes as well. I contend that the good microbes will come back at this stage. Okay. Put that there like that. Lots of paper. Put that paper down. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that roll, right? Again, this was just fresh compost. They finally gone in, and so that's gonna be like that. All right, and I like the fact that there's got a ton of space in here. Unlike my fermenting setup, if it did heat up, you know, the chances of them being such a tight space, they can't move around as much. All right, put one there already. All right, let me see. So it's worm chow, right? For all intents and purposes. There, that's Stinkies. I got one more in here that I'm gonna feed you guys right here. There. All right. I don't want to go for. Let's see. I got mostly colored paper here, which I don't like the color. Newspaper. People aren't buying newspapers anymore. I won't be seeing this too much. All right, this is a big roll here. There's a big roll there. Okay, put that there. A little bit of a stink. Got some plastic here from one of my Eve fitting things. Put that there, and then cover. Lightly cover. Boom, boom, boom. Hold. Bury these rolls in there. Bury you in there. There. All right. Just like that. The smell is greatly reduced. This helps greatly reduce it. And then this cloth that I'll do a short video for my fermenting club. By the way, I have a fermenting group where we talk about our screens. Basically, the screens I use is valances, what they call valances, or what the heck, like a shear. And I also use paint. This is mostly closely knitted than my my 5-gallon paint strainer, old paint strainer ones that I use. I like this material, and you get this all day long at Goodwill for like, I wait till it's half off and I get like a big piece of it for like cheap. Very cheap. All right, now we're going to go to my 55-gallon drum, which I'm going to eliminate and just start with just these barrels from now on, all right? Let's see what that one looks like. I don't know if I fed that one as well. All right, now this one is on a dolly. It's a 55-gallon drum, Eve barrel. And as you can see, from my last ones that we talked about, Mark, you said that they didn't climb out. Looks like they did make it up to the top in here. See, a couple of them did. What's with that, Mark? You just said they don't do that. Well, you know, they're definitely having a hard time up there. And let's see why they're climbing out. Is the food run out in here? I thought I fed them good. Black soldier fly right there. All right, let's take a look at this and see if I need to feed him. Yeah, this one, probably because, Mark, I fed this one last with house compost, and I think they've eaten it all quickly. I think I might have to do this every 2 weeks because they get at it quicker. Let me get some more paper. Got some more paper, and I got this much left. I'm going to feed him that much of it. So it's about a little more than half of that. Okay. Still filming? Yeah. This will be a long one, mostly for YouTube. I'll do a shorter one on TikTok and try to get them to come to YouTube. All right. See how this one's a little too high for me. If you're 6 foot or something, maybe you could still work with this. The beauty of it is it's rugged. You got to put it on a dolly, of course, so you can move it around easier. So these are good, but I'm just liking the fact that the dollies are on these barrels. And I did get these barrels very, very cheap. They're usually expensive, but I got a couple old ones with the dollies from a commercial entity that was going out of business, and I got a really good deal on a couple of them. So I like them so much because it's all one part. The dolly is built into into it, right? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, this definitely needed feeding. Holy smokes. Maybe that's why they were running. This is going to be a big harvest when it's all done, right? That 55-gallon drum is full of pure casting to the end. All right, just like that. And of course, you can fit more rolls in here. More room for these guys to move around. We're talking everything, folks. We're talking about feeding these guys. Inevitably, granted now we're composting it first, but we're still feeding them. Anything and everything. If it's organic, don't give it to the man. All right, I might even start doing this method with my number 2s and just get... First of all, the beauty about fermenting is you can stack them. This you can't stack. So that's another thought. But... and I might need to stack. You know, especially in this tight area. I've got some new containers that I'm going to start working with that I picked up, again, at a great price on Facebook. That stack nicely. And they're 20 gallons, so that's good. There you go. Now, one thing, my worms are surviving, but I don't see, maybe it's the lighting down here. I'm not seeing too many cocoons. This one I'm just going to bury like that. That's probably how I'm going to end up doing it later on. Just like this. All right, boom. Put that there like that. Okay. Cover. Always cover. And then I got one in the middle. I'm going to use a composting roll. Hold back. So is it different than a continuous flow? Time will tell. Again, I've worked with a continuous flow before with good results. Here's a corn. Corn. But the one thing I didn't like about my T55 was it always seemed messy at the bottom. It always seemed messy, and I did get a lot of springtails and mites and the like. With this particular system, for some reason, I'm not seeing that. I've had a few black soldier flies come out of it, but I don't think they're going to now that I cap these. Again, now that I cap these, after my thermophilic stage is done, I put it into these 6-gallon buckets and cap it for a week or so before I feed it. So everything dies. lack of oxygen, right? Last one. I just want to give you a sense of how much I'm filling it. Yeah, you get a sense anyway, right? Wait a minute. I want this whole bucket gone. I got a little stinky smell, and I can't have that because my wife will smell it from upstairs. And she'll say, I smell something every time I hear smell. Because when you smell something, you're doing something wrong. When you smell it. I want to do this whole bucket. Fuck it. Excuse me. Excuse me. I want to put that whole bucket in there. Like that. Okay? And now, this is it, guys. I'm going to cover it. And this will be the end of the video here. I think it's going to be a long one, but so what? And I want to cover it like this. Right? Man. Oh. All right. That's a lot of food, you gotta admit. And when I got a couple more of these bigger barrels, I'll be even to add more food. And if it works that fast, we're getting into some serious worm farming, aren't we? All right, that's good. Stop patting it, Mark. These worms trying to climb, they're having a hard, difficult time, for sure, trying to climb out of there. And if I had a card handy, I'd scrape it. Here's what I'm going to do, too, which I should have did before. I'm going to add some eggshells to it all, too, for grit. And there's oysters in here, too. I should have did that first, so these guys aren't... Go like that. All right, you worms get back, go down. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. That's it. This will also help retain the moisture and lower the smell. And then I'll cover that up with a screen and we are done. This is Mark with Eve growing over and over.
We will most certainly heal this planet, one urban farmer at a time.